Hello, people of God on today. Listen, I pray that all is well with you and yours and that you are being the best version of yourself that God has called you to be in this season. And though we're living in some evil times, we're living in some hard and rough times, you have to be encouraged and know that God has your back with whatever you're going through. And the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verses 2 through 3, it tells us that the Lord is jealous and avenging God. The Lord takes vengeance and is filled with wrath. The Lord takes vengeance on his foes and vents his wrath against his enemies. And in verse 3, it tells us that the Lord is slow to anger, but great in power. The Lord will not leave the guilty unpunished. Again, saints, the Lord has your back regardless of what you're going through. Now, the book of Nahum is kind of like a blueprint of how God handles those who handles you. And when someone consciously or unconsciously undermined God's agenda for your life, then they become an enemy of God because of his plans and his assignments for your life. Some of us, saints, are playing this game of life and we don't even know the rules. What does God say about it? He says we must learn how to handle ourselves when we are mishandled by others. And that happens a lot. Who controls your mood? Does a text or a post ruin your joy in the Lord? Then if it does, then that's your master. Someone says or does something to you that ticks you off, and you may allow it to change your mood. Then guess what? That's your master. Now in the book of Nahum, it's prophetic. It's a prophetic message, and it was not a message to God's people, but it was a message to the enemy of Sierra on their actions against the chosen ones of God. Now, just because we're remorseful, it doesn't mean that we've changed. But know, saints, that God, he lets Israel know that they can trust their safety and their security in him against their enemies. And if he lets Israel know that, then he'll let us know that as well. We may complain about some stuff that God uses to keep us on the path that will propel us into his plans for our lives. And sometimes we get mad because God hasn't brought us out of what we're going through. But instead, we should be shouting and praising him because he has kept us in. We don't know what's on the other side, but he does, because his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways. God is telling us what he is going to do for us. Now, I know that we get in a hurry and we want to take vengeance. We want to handle things on our own. But are we really ready to handle it and suffer the consequences of our actions? We think about handling it, but when we begin to handle it, then we're stepping into God's territory. When we start trying to do it on our own, we don't have the capacity nor the capability to handle it like God would. The get back is not yours. It's the Lord's, because He can handle it without destroying you, because there are repercussions for what we do and for what we say. So, I leave a question with you. Is